Okay, so to continue on from the previous lesson, we're going to now take a look at some additional options in Weight Paint. Go ahead and click on this bone and just zoom out to Alt-R to reset this bone. And what we want to do is actually remove these weights from here. So here we can just click on the vertex mode, go ahead and click on select to select all the vertices that are part of this vertex group. Go over here and just do remove from all groups and go ahead and now turn this off. Now make sure that under the tools you're on add. It has a weight value of 1 and a strength of 1. Now go to options over here. Now press the F key over here to make the radius bigger. So what we're going to do is look at this concept of normals. What does it do? So first go ahead and click your mouse once over here. Now when you click this, you'll notice that if you rotate this, the vertices here in the back are also getting the weight values, and over here on the bottom they're also getting weight values over here. Okay, now press the 1 key. Now the reason this is happening is because it's basically based on how you are viewing your figure, right? Even when the faces are curved, they'll still get those weight values over here. Okay, now to Control Z. So if you click on normals and now zoom out and click this, now you'll notice that it's restricted, right? We're not getting the weight values over here and we're not getting the weight values over here. So meaning that it's basing this on the fact that if the face is facing towards you in this 3D view, it will get the weights. And if the faces are not facing towards you, meaning they're normals towards you in the 3D view, they're not going to get the weights. So to understand this, what you have to do is actually go to edit mode and press the Z key to go to solid view. Then under mesh display, you can actually click on normals. Now over here, you can control the size of these blue lines. They actually don't do anything internal. This is just a visual thing. So press the shift key down and just bring this down. So notice that these are the normals on your face. So when this blue line is facing towards you, meaning in the 3D view, it's going to get the weight values. And you'll notice that when the faces are not towards you, they're not going to get those weight values. So that's what that normal feature is doing, right? So here, if we switch back to Weight Paint over here and turn this off and press the Z key to go into wireframe, go ahead and click this again. Now you'll notice it's doing the same thing. So that's how that concept is working, okay? So now go ahead and now reload the file. So what we're going to do now is take a look at this concept where it says restrict. Now this is something that you're going to be using quite a bit, and what you want to understand about this is that you can forget that you have this on, and it can cause confusion a little later on. So first zoom out, do shift middle mouse button, and go ahead and now rotate this figure kind of like this. Okay, now just imagine that we are working here on the arm and fixing a few issues, and we need to get to this vertex. Now this is going to be, this concept really is better to probably demonstrate it with a much more complex, intricate objects, such as, let's say, the inside of the mouth. But here I'm going to keep things simple. Press the F key and make it bigger. Now let's say if you click on this vertex over here, you'll notice that when we are adding weight to the vertices on the arm, it's also modifying here on the bottom of the figure, and this is something that you don't want. So do Control Z to undo all this. Now when you click on restrict, it's only going to work on the vertices that already have this vertex group. So now if you go over here and click it, you'll notice that it only does it here, okay? But here I'm just going to show you that because I have it like this, I'm going to click and click. Now notice that it's actually still penetrating through over here. Now the reason this is doing this is because these vertices over here are actually also assigned to the def.arm.upper.l. This is because the automatic weight system actually leaked down here. So this brings up a good point, right? How do you even see the vertices that are using this vertex group? Now a quick way to do this is you can use the show zero weights. Right now it's set on none. If you click on active, it's basically showing you the zero weights over here, but you can use it to understand where the vertex group is being used by what vertices. So here you can see that this is why it was happening. Okay, so now the thing you should know about this, because it says show zero weights, if you click over here and click on this vertex and actually make it go all the way to 0, you'll see that it's just going to show up as black. So it's because it just does show zero weights, right? So you can't actually tell if you do A to D select if this vertex was even part of it, right? So it's a bit misleading. So in this case, we would have to be in this mode and click on select to analyze, okay, which vertices have a weight value of 0. Anyways, that's how this concept is working. Okay, so go ahead and deselect this. So as I said, go back to none. You can actually forget that this is on over here. Okay, now press the 1 key over here. So let's say that over here we wanted to, for some reason, add vertices over here, and we are switched to tools over here. So of course, if you click it, it's not going to do anything. Okay, now let me just show you where the confusion comes. Let's say if we weren't using the automatic weight system and we click over here, do A to select all the vertices and go over here and just do remove from all groups and press Alt R to reset this bound and go ahead and turn this off. Now when you're starting out, let's say you want to weight paint a different type of character without using the automatic weights. If you click over here, you'll notice that it's not going to do anything, right? This is because restrict is on. So you have to remember to always check over here and make sure it's unchecked so you can actually start to add the weights to these vertices. So that's how this concept works. Anyway, since we're already here, we might as well just look at this now. So go under tools and under the weights, just put it down to around maybe 1 or 200. Go to options over here. Now notice that when you click on the mouse and you go into this circle, well, right, just go in circles, you'll see that when we are adding the weight values, having the mouse click in going in circles, it just stops. But we have to click it again and add the weights again, right? Because that's what this does. Now do Control Z to undo this, Control Z to undo this. Now when you have spray on, this is working like an airbrush. Basically the same thing that we've seen under the brush accumulate, the blur accumulate. So it works like an airbrush, right? So now when you click it, if you keep going in circles, it'll just keep spraying and spraying and spraying. So that's how this is working. Okay, go ahead and now just reload the file again. Okay, so what we're going to do now is take a look at how to work with the X mirror and topology mirror options in Weight Paint. Now the first thing you want to do is click on this bone, do Alt R to reset the rotation, and of course we have to switch to object mode, press the Z key to go into solid view, and you have to apply the mirror modifier, right? Because it will be pointless to look at this with a mirror modifier on. Go ahead and click that. Now first, I want you to switch to edit mode before doing anything. Press the A key to select all the vertices, go to the data tab, go over here, and you're going to do remove from all groups. We're only doing this so we can understand what's going on. Okay, now go ahead and turn this off because this will allow us to see the actual wire on the figure. So do A to D, select all the vertices. Now, since we no longer have a mirror modifier, if we click on this vertex over here, actually go ahead and shut off show weight so we can see what's going on. Okay, click on this vertex over here, press the shift key down and click on this vertex. Now move these two vertices up. Notice that the right side is not going to move. Now we're going to Control Z to undo this. Of course, when we have X mirror on and the figure is symmetrical, now when we click over here and move this, the other side is going to move. Notice what we are doing here in edit mode. We are moving the vertices. Okay, Control Z to undo this. We're not going to get to move these vertices in Weight Paint. It doesn't allow that, right? Because that's all about controlling the weight values on vertex groups. Okay, so now you saw that how that works. Go ahead and turn this off. Now, as I've already shown you, that if you click over here, let's say these 4 vertices, and move it, now the figure is no longer symmetrical, right? But the topology is exactly the same on the left and the right side. So now if we click on these 2 vertices again and move them, of course it's not going to do anything. Control Z to undo this. Now when you click on X mirror and move this, you'll notice that the other side is not moving because it's no longer symmetrical. Do Control Z to undo this. Okay. Now click on topology mirror. As I've said, when you see this topology word, that's what it's talking about. The topology is the same on the left and the right, but it's no longer symmetrical. Now, as soon as you click over here to move it, notice what's going to happen to the vertices. They're going to snap into the position, right? They're going to lose their original position. Now they'll work. Control Z to undo this. Okay, so you can see that you're going to lose how you've deformed these vertices manually when you have this on. In edit mode, when you start to move stuff, meaning that if we press the shift key down, click on all these, and now just move it a little bit, we've just lost it. That's how it works. Anyway, the point of this is that understanding what this topology mirror is. Now here's the thing. In edit mode, when you actually have all this selected over here, it's also going to select this in weight paint. So first do Control Z to undo all these things that we've done to put it back to the way it was. Okay, now let's switch to weight paint over here. As soon as you switch over here weight paint, you'll see that it also selects it over here. So if you deselect it over here and go to edit mode, it deselects it over here. So make sure you are aware of this concept. Okay, now let's go ahead and go to weight paint. Okay, so now press the Z key to go into wireframe, right? So you know what this is going to do now, right? So go ahead and have this bone selected, and right now we are not going to have this on. Press the F key to increase this, go under tools, make sure that this is on add. Now of course if we click over here to add vertices to this vertex group, because we have the bone selected, now if we click over here on this bone, you'll see that nothing's going to happen because we don't have this on. Do Control Z, do Control Z to undo this. Now click on X mirror and click it. Now when you switch to this bone, you'll see that it automatically assigns that vertex group to this bone. This is what X mirror does. So you can just imagine what topology mirror is going to do, right? Now we're going to Control Z to undo this, Control Z to undo this. Now of course we have to move the vertices, and we can only do this in edit mode. Now watch what's going to happen when we switch to edit mode. Press the Z key. You can't come in here and now just start moving these vertices because you have X mirror on. If you move this, it's going to move the other side. Control Z to undo this. You first have to turn this off and now move this all the way up like this or something. Okay, now let's switch back to weight paint mode and press the Z key to go back to wireframe. Now of course if we have X mirror on and now click over here and we click over here, you'll notice that it's not going to do anything on this side, right? Control Z to undo this. Undo. So here if we paint this whole thing like this and click over here, you'll notice that it's leaving this. That's what I'm showing you, right? So I Control Z to undo that. Now click on topology mirror. So now if you click it and put this all over here and click this, now you see that it works. So this is how this concept of X mirror and topology mirror works. This is the most important thing when you see this word, what it actually means, because you're going to see this in multiple places in Blender. We've already seen that it shows up over here, right? That's what it's talking about. Anyways, so here we've covered all of these options over here that have to do under options. You just switch to tools. Now go ahead and just reload this file back up, and I'll see you in the next lesson. Thank you.